special webinar we have on here for you. Of course, I am your host, Tim Mai, and on the line with me, I have a very special friend, a mentor, as well as a new partner now that have joined our Prosperity Real Estate Group team to be able to support you guys, help you guys do more deals, make more money. So I'm really excited to have Will Duquette on the line with us today. Will, are you there?
I'm here, Tim. I appreciate you having me on the call and look forward to inspiring people to bring their lives to the next level, just like I know you have and I certainly have as well. I love helping people and hearing back from them. In fact, I had a student talk to me on the ride back home from the gym today and just told me literally, it was kind of neat because I put him on speakerphone. I said, would you repeat what you just said? Because my daughter was sitting in the passenger seat. And he says, you are the most inspirational person I've ever met. You have the most massive integrity of any speaker I've ever heard, and I just love hearing you speak. And thank you so much for everything you've done for me and my family. And so I got to let my daughter hear, what I do for other people's lives, and I know what you do for other people's lives. And I absolutely love it. And I cannot wait to help touch, move, and inspire people on this call to literally take their lives to the next level. So I appreciate you being here, and definitely you are a good friend of mine, Tim. I know you have integrity as well. We've got a great presentation lined up for them to show them how they can actually partner with deals on us to stay safe as well. So thank you for having me on the call.
Yeah, and I am just super excited about this call. Yeah, it's such an amazing opportunity out there right now. The real estate market is just booming so much, especially like here in Houston. I know it's like pretty much like that throughout the U.S., but especially so here in Houston. We're the second fastest growing city in the country. We also rank like the second lowest in unemployment rate as well. Tons of companies are moving into Houston, so a lot of jobs opportunities. And like a lot of our buyers that are calling us now are actually from out of town with an out of town area code on the phone. So that tells us like how many people are moving into Houston, and opportunities are just everywhere. We're buying and selling houses all over the place, and so we're really excited about this call and sharing with you guys and recruiting you guys, right, to be our partners to do deals with. And so with that, Will, let's let them know what we have for them today.
Well, we're going to actually have about an hour to 90-minute call. And some of you say yay, and some of you kind of went, oh, my gosh. Well, those of you saying, oh, my gosh, well, it's just the beginning. If you would take 90 minutes out of your life forever to change the rest of your financial future, 90 minutes would be a breeze. And so that's what I want you to understand, is that we are going to have an amazing conversation here on this webinar. We're going to show you real live examples of what's happening right now around the world, as well as right in your backyard of Houston. I've helped tens of thousands of people to really get out of the rat race and get financially free. We're continuing to do it now, so you're going to have an amazing event here for you on this webinar and on this call. Whether you're listening to this live or the replay of it, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to do a couple of things. We're going to have an amazing webinar. Like I said, we're going to teach and train you exactly how we transformed our lives and how I transformed my life. And we're also going to share with you how you can do the same exact thing for yourselves and how you can actually become one of our partners in real estate. And we're going to actually show you how to do this and train you how to do this as well. So a couple of things I'd like to say up front is to really get yourself in the right space. And what I mean by that is just like I do before every call that I do, every webinar I do, whether I'm the presenter or I'm the actually student learning. A couple things. The first thing I want you to do is turn off the I know that. Like, oh, I know that, or I heard that. I'm sure I'm not going to say every single thing that I say tonight is absolutely cutting edge and you've never heard it before, so I don't want you to get stuck with, oh, I already knew that, it didn't teach me nothing, because if you're in the I know that's, you're not open to receive the great gifts that we're going to give you on this call. Second thing is to really get present to a quiet space for you and this webinar. This is your continued training, whether you are brand new in real estate and never done one deal before in your entire life, or if you are a seasoned professional. One thing that you get out of this presentation would be well worth your 90 minutes. And I know this because I've done exactly that many, many times over the last 16, 17 years of my own training. So what you want to do is make sure you get a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, whichever you prefer. And you're going to want to take some copious notes. So we're going to give you some real hands-on exactly how we did this, how people are doing it just like you in your neck of the woods, right there in Houston, Texas, and all over the country. So you're going to want to take great notes, and actually at the end, we may even open up a time for you to actually take some actual Q&As. And I can tell you, I get paid $5,000 an hour for my consultation. And the reason is because I make people money very, very quickly. I get people unstuck. And some of you know me on the call, and that's great, and some of you don't, so I'm going to actually tell more of my story here in just a moment. But get yourself really present in a quiet space. Kiss your kids on the forehead if you have some. Say, kids, I love you, mommy or daddy or both of you. I'm going to be listening to this call for about an hour. Would you please let us take time to spend an hour or so getting trained up so that we can have a financial future, so that they never have to hear the words like I heard growing up so often, we can't afford that. I want you all to have the life and lifestyle of your dreams, and I want you to be inspired by my story on this webinar, and I want you to listen for how you can go do the same thing for you, because it's not that I was touched with the golden magic rod of real estate-ness, and that's how I was successful, because I had a long, challenging road at the beginning, and yet you don't have to do that. As I show you and teach you on this webinar how you can go out and change your lives faster, quicker, and easier than I could do it 16, 17 years ago, because that's how long it's been since I've been in the business. And when I first started, they didn't have computers. That's how long ago this was. They didn't have the technology that we have now. It's where literally real estate and money, for that matter, is literally at our fingertips. And it's just a matter of learning how to tap into it, and especially with a huge, enormous array of real estate that's out there right now and the different ways that you can actually take advantage of the different types of real estate. So how did you want to do this, Tim? Do you want to do some back and forth? Do you want me to just kind of take it from here, or what did you want to do? You tell me.
No, just take it from here. And I think, like, as you are talking, it's so funny. On my desk is a check right now from one of the deals that our students just closed on the 15th. That's yesterday. It's like, wow. It's like, I didn't even know about this. My assistant dropped this off on my desk for me. I'm like, man, this is just so cool. I have checks coming everywhere.
It's great. I know, and that's what we're going to talk about here also. Real estate's just one medium that myself and Tim and anybody of true smart wealth realizes that it's multiple streams of income. It's not just one piece. People say to me, well, if you're doing so well in real estate, then why are you going out training? Well, because it's one, it's my passion. I love it, and I love to help other people. And two, as I inspire other people to do it, there's multiple streams of income coming around that as well for me. So, and it's funny because I have a check right here on my desk that a student just emailed me. Oh, Christ, it's been a couple of weeks ago now. But man, this is a student of mine that was brand new as far as relatively into the real estate business. And this check is for exactly, it's written out to Julia. No, I'm sorry, actually it's written out to her business name, Oak Point. I'm not going to tell you the whole thing. But it's Julia and Jeff. I know them. They live in Dallas, Texas. Good students of mine. And they actually took a training and went out and took action on what we're going to share with you tonight. This check is for $242,147.99. That's from one real estate deal currently just happened like this year. I mean, it just happened. So that's what I'm talking about is like it's so cool that we can show people how to go make money, but then we also can create multiple income streams around it. And we're very, very needed because there's a lot of fear-based people that actually need this conversation to go forward as well. So I love doing what I do. Myself, I just closed a deal last week, made $48,000 on that one deal. It wasn't $250,000. You'll see plenty of deals on here that I've done, plenty of student deals I've done here. Quite frankly, we have literally just linked one case study after the next of how students have done deals and or partnered with Prosperity Group on this webinar. There's going to be a point where I'm literally just going to start clicking through and just saying the profits because there's just too many. We can literally take the entire hour and a half of doing nothing except showing you a deal after deal after deal of students doing it. And the reality of it is that at the end of this, we're going to offer up an opportunity for some people to come be trained by us and come study underneath us and actually spend some time with us, because that's what it's going to take. Being on this webinar will not teach you how to do real estate investing. This is just an access to the next step. If it was an hour and a half conversation to real estate investing, everybody on the planet would do it. But the cool thing is the moons kind of have aligned here, because a lot of the old real estate investors that used to be around when I started doing this are not around anymore. They actually were investing incorrectly. They got the wrong education, or even worse, they didn't see the value in spending money for continued education. Well, I didn't know this because I actually started off very, very poor. I grew up, my mom, a single mom. My dad was around very often. Many times I went to the refrigerator with very, very little to eat in the refrigerator. I was picked on as a kid. I was told I was going to be least likely to succeed. My penmanship is horrible. My math was horrible. My spelling was even worse. I mean, I just wasn't a very smart, book-smart kid. And so I was told a lot of things really early on that I thought, was true about myself. And reality was, as I grew up, I actually started to grow and mentor with the right people. And I started off bartending. I bartended for many, many, many years, and I was a mechanic for a while. I was a bartender for a while. I did AC. I went to college for 3 years until I realized that was not going to make me $1 million. So I tried many, 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 many things in my life to actually get ahead and succeed, coming from a very, very poor environment where people who were around me that never made money, so they could not teach me how to make money. And that's very common for a lot of people on this call, I'm sure. And so I went out and did the best that I could with what I had, and the reality of it is that I just couldn't figure out how to do it. But I also knew as a very, very young kid, because it was parents, some people who lived next to me, some friends of mine and their parents lived next to me in the projects growing up. And when I got older, I realized that they had moved out, and I kept in contact with them. They invited me to come over to their house one day, and they gave me the address. And I got the address, and I drove over to her house, and I pulled up to this huge, huge ranch, a farm ranch, nice big house. And I'm sitting here going, wow, these people are either servants to these people that live in this mansion. This is amazing. And I pulled up there, and I'm driving up my old clunker car back then, literally the rust holes through the floorboards. Literally that bad of a junker of a car. My $200 car that I was crazy proud of. This was actually transportation I hadn't had before then, just out of high school. And I remember pulling up to their house saying, wow, this is amazing. I went in and I said, whose house is this? And they said, well, this is our parents' house. I said, well, what do your parents do? I said, oh, my gosh, that's awesome. You guys used to live in the projects with me right next door. We grew up together in school. We were all poor where we lived, and yet you guys are here now. I thought they won the lottery or something like that. And they said, no, our parents are real estate investors. They bought houses, and they fixed them up, and they rented them. So at a very, very, very young age, I knew that I saw that it was possible right there, that these people did it. They went from nothing. They were living in the projects just like me, and literally within a few short years, 5 years or so, they were living in a mansion, the house of my dreams back then. So at a very early age, I knew that in order to make money in real estate, in order to make money, period, real estate was definitely the way to go, except I knew nothing about real estate. We rented our entire lives. We never had any nice houses. My mother never owned a home the entire time I was growing up. We usually lived in projects or apartment complexes and et cetera. If it wasn't for family and friends, I know we would have been homeless many times, helping us out. And all that changed once I got out of my mother's house. I started working really hard to get ahead, and anybody on the call knows that working hard does not get you any more money. It just gets you more hard work. And so I was still bartending, and I was bartending for many, many years. And one day I got walking pneumonia, and I called in sick with walking pneumonia to what I thought was the best bartending job I've ever had. I was making $500 or $600 a night in tips. It was very, very good. I actually helped them finish building the bar to open up their bar so that I could actually make money. And the reality of it is that I didn't have any loyalty from them at all, because as soon as I called in with walking pneumonia with a doctor's excuse, what had happened is they actually called in, when I called in, they actually fired me for calling in with walking pneumonia with a doctor's excuse. So that bothered me so much, I said, you know what, I'm never going to rely on another employer for the rest of my life, and I never did since. So not right out of that gate, though, did I do anything. So that was, what am I going to do to actually take charge of my financial freedom? And I went out and I started my own lawn care service. So I went out and I'm putting out street signs saying lawn care service, and I got a pretty good business going. Most people laughed at me, told me I was silly to do it because there were so many other people doing lawn care and I wouldn't make any money and yada, yada, the old helper mentality is what I like to say, trying to keep me stopped and stuck and hold me down, because if I became successful, they'd feel bad about themselves, and that's just true. So about 6 months later, I owned my own truck, the trailer, everything. I mean, I literally started out with a I don't even know, something, Nissan Sentra. It was a car, and I literally picked up the lawnmower, a hand-pushed lawnmower, put it in the trunk with a broom, and with a weed eater. Literally, that's how I started my lawn care service. 6 months later, I owned all my professional equipment, and I was making about $2,000 a week part-time doing lawn care. So I got financially free, and I realized, hey, I don't need an employer to actually exist in this life. And so that was a huge stepping stone for me. From there, I actually said, okay, great. Now that I'm financially okay here, I don't have to stress, and I don't have an employer telling me what to do and when to do it. I'm in charge of my own destiny. This is great. So when they fired me, hindsight's always 20/20. It was the best thing they could have done. I was so mad. I was like, good, I'm not going to rely on another employer again, and they actually helped me out. So I said, okay, I want to get into real estate investing. So I thought, okay, I've got lawn care. I'll go start learning real estate. So I went out and got my real estate license, which if you're on here and you have a real estate license, you know it does not teach you how to be a real estate investor. In fact, it just taught me some rules and laws and regulations, and pretty much told me everything. If I did do this or that, the other thing, I'd get sued or go to jail or both. And I thought, well, that's great. Now I'm deemed a professional by the state, and I had no clue how to buy and sell a piece of property. Now, that's the absolute truth. I really had no idea. I could barely fill out a purchase and sales agreement. I think I saw one once the entire time I was training to take my test and become a professional realtor in the state. It was crazy. Took that thing, threw it in a drawer, knew I was never going to do nothing with it. So got my lawn care service, and I'm still part-time bartending. And I was bartending at a hotel part-time then, and they had banquet halls down the room, down the end of the hallway. One night, the waitress comes up to me and says, hey, they're teaching real estate down there. You ought to go down and check it out. I know your real estate license didn't, do what you needed. Maybe you can find something down there. I says, okay, thanks. I told him my bar back, watched my bar. I went down to the room, and there's this guy up, and they just introduced him on stage. Says, I'm going to teach you all how to buy and sell real estate with no money down, no credit needed, no real estate license needed. And I thought, well, great, this is exactly what I wanted. But, before I got my real estate license, he says, and all you need to do is go to that back table right there and give me $7,500 for my first 2 seminars. And I thought, whoa, $7,500? Who has $7,500? I know it certainly wasn't me back then. I didn't even have more than $2,000 in my bank account up into that time frame. But I sat there thinking about it for a while, and I wanted to do it. I mean, it was a very strong pull. It could teach me how to buy houses with no money, no credit, no real estate license needed. I had a real estate license, but I didn't want to use it because I knew that would just be another job, and I didn't want a job. I wanted to be financially free. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and be in charge of my own destiny finally after going through the rat race for so long in my life. Now, I went back to the bar, and I didn't buy his products and services. And I went back to the bar, and it's a very huge learning lesson, so I share this with you folks. I really want you to pay attention to this because there's some people that think they can just go around and learn real estate investing for free or on the cheap or listen to that guy or pick that person's brain or go to a free networking group every week or two or even once a month and think you're going to learn real estate investing. And what I have found in my experience from people doing that is literally they usually call me up and ask me for a real estate attorney later on because they got themselves in trouble. They learned just enough to know to get themselves in trouble. So be very careful if you're the type of person that's going to do that. You've got to go out and pay for your education. You're going to pay for it one way or the other. It's just a lot cheaper and safer to pay for it up front. So I didn't buy his courses, and I went back to the bar, and the waitress said, so how'd it go back there? I said, well, the guy was telling me what I needed to hear. I mean, said he'd teach me how to buy and sell houses with no money down and no credit, no real estate license, and I'd actually own them. But, he wanted $7,500, and she said, oh, my gosh, that's a lot of money. I said, yeah, I know. I said, I don't have that. I mean, I got a credit card with a $10,000 limit on it. That would max it out. And it scared the heck out of me because I have no idea how to pay it because I never had more than $2,000 in my bank account the entire time. So she said one thing to me, and I know very often sometimes we meet people and they just say one thing and it changes the rest of your life forever. And she said just something so simple, and it just was a light bulb went off in my head, and it made total sense to me. She says, yeah, okay, I get that. So now what are you going to do? And it was almost like she slapped me in the face. And I know she didn't mean to say it in a mean way or derogatory. It was very, very kind of matter of fact, like, okay, what are you going to do now? Because the reality of it was if I didn't go buy this guy's books and tapes and courses, what was I going to do? Was I going to keep mowing lawns? Was I going to keep bartending? Was I going to stay safe in this so-called job and keep working, bartending, and mowing lawns for the rest of my life? And I remember looking at her, and she looked at me. She's like, "What?" And I said, "You know, I know you didn't mean this at all, but I feel offended by the fact that you said that." She goes, "Oh, I didn't mean that." I said, "I know you're not." I said, "But because I feel offended, I've got to look at this. What's going on? Why am I offended?" Because it was a very simple question. And I literally sat down and thought about it for a while. And why was I offended that she just said something as simple as, "What are you going to do now?" And here was the answer. It came crystal clear moments later as I thought about it in silence in the corner of this bar, thinking about this, what's going on in my head. And the reality was is that I was feeling like I was a chicken. I was letting fear stop me from moving forward. And I was offended because she basically was calling me out and saying, "I thought you were going to go for the golden dream. I thought you were going to actually start living the life and dreams that you wanted to live." And this little voice inside my head kept saying, "If you really believe in yourself, what would you do? If you believe this guy's products and services will work, what would you do?" And ultimately, the guy also gave us a money-back guarantee, and that rang through. He says, "Listen, he said he gave you your money back. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. You just say, 'I want my money back.'" He's got it in writing. And I remember going back into that seminar hall, and they were packing up at this point. And I literally went down to my credit card, scared to death. And I pulled out my credit card, literally shaking in my hand, because I had just finished, by the way, fixing my credit. I had bad credit for 7 years. I grew up with no financial programs. I grew up as a young kid in my teens. They sent you credit cards. I started using them, signed here. Next thing I know, I ruined my credit. So I just finally fixed my credit after having 7 years of bad credit. So it meant something for me to actually use my credit again smartly. And I just plopped that thing down and put $7,500 on a one credit card I had back then. And I pretty much maxed it out by the time I flew to the seminar and back twice in the next 6 months. But here's the thing, folks. Because I did that, it changed the course of how I did real estate forever. It changed how I originally did it without having bad habits. And it kept me, literally catapulted me forward because I invested in myself. Just like I need all of you to be invested in yourself here tonight on this webinar, on this call, or morning, or whatever you're listening to this, to say, okay, when is now going to be a good time for you actually to take your life to the next level? And I say it's now. For the next 90 minutes or so, I'm going to share some very exciting, powerful stuff that has transformed my life, Tim Mai's life, AC's life, and many, many countless tens of thousands as well, from all walks of life. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Doesn't matter if you know real estate at all or not. Making money in real estate is not difficult. So I'm going to ask you to write some things down as I talk, and I know you guys probably got a lot of that already. But write this down. In order, this is like imperative. In order for things to change in your life, write this down. In order for things to change, you must change. You must be willing to change. You must be willing to do what it takes. Because becoming a millionaire, if it was so easy, there'd be so many other people already doing it. Now, I grew up, in this type of environment. I ultimately went out and bought the books and tapes and courses, and it scared me to death, and I was able to pay back all that stuff plus profit within 6 months, and I was back on track. The next thing I know, I'm spending more money on books and tapes and courses from people who know, because without good mentors and coaches in my life, I would have just been wandering around doing deals half-heartedly, not really knowing what I'm doing. And so I want to caution you on this call, if you haven't been to a seminar that really taught you how to buy and sell real estate, and you only bought a course or so, I'm going to tell you that if you really want to know how I did it, my answer, my golden, people always ask me, how would you do this? How were you so successful and so many other people weren't? My absolute straight absolute honest answer is that because I went to a seminar at least every 60 days from the second that I started doing that first seminar, because it kept me on track and it kept me motivated. So I'm very excited for all of you to hear what I'm about to share with you going forward, because no matter where you are in life financially, I want you to write this down. Your finances, your financial statement right now, write down, your financial statement is a temporary situation. I want you to get crystal clear on something right now. This is going to be the beginning of a lifelong relationship between me and Tim and AC in the Prosperity Group. We're not looking to sell you books and tapes and seminars, and of course we have those. What we are looking to sell you on is you taking the actions on the things you know you should be taking. We want to sell you on living the life and lifestyle of a real estate tycoon. We want to sell you on having everything you've ever wanted. In addition, we're also going to give you an irresistible offer of how to partner with us at the end of this webinar. And of course, we're going to take some questions at the end as well, so stay to the end. So when I ask you to write things down, just know to this day, as I make this recording in this live conversation, just know that I've spent about $500,000 on my own training and education, getting good and getting very, very trained by the best of literally of the planet, the very best people in real estate, personal development, and public speaker training. I've taken all the best that there is. And the reason why is because when I spent my first $7,500, it came back to me tens and tens times fold, hundredfold than what I did before. I literally made millions of dollars in real estate investing, and I'm going to share with you how you can as well. But unless you have a mindset shift from who you believe you are right now, you'll always be one of the paupers. You'll always be thinking that way. And the only way to get past that is to write this down, act as if, right? Act as if. I want you to start acting as if you're already a multimillionaire right now. I want you to start taking the actions of a multimillionaire, because millionaires and billionaires, we think differently. Our brains just function differently. My job here is to not only teach you real estate investing, but to have your mind start producing more powerful decisions than what you've done before in the past, without fear and without the emotion of fear keeping you stopped and stuck. Because that's what I learned very early on. And if I could give you anything during this conversation, really get that you got to have a mindset. And in order for things to change, you must change. So I want you to write this down on your piece of paper. And I want you to write it down exactly the way I say it. So here we go. I want you to write down, I commit to my own success. I commit to my own success. Underneath that, I want you to write, I need no one's permission to succeed. I need no one's permission to succeed. See, the challenge is we have so many excuses. It's him, it's her, it's my financial situation. I have kids, I don't have kids. If I only had kids, they could help me. I got too many kids, they're driving me crazy. Everybody has an excuse. And the reality of it is none of you are limited. None of you have excuses except for the ones that you give yourself to keep you stopped and stuck. It reminds me of a student that I knew. He actually came over from Cuba on a raft where 2 people perished. They died. They lost their lives coming from Cuba. He came onto Miami's beaches not speaking English as an illegal alien. Came into Miami, started learning how to buy and sell real estate with no money down, no license, and no credit needed. Taught himself English through just his self-taught and learning it from being in the United States. And literally within 7 years became a multimillionaire. So none of us have ever going to say we had that type of adversity coming forward, so none of us are limited. So what I've done is transform my entire life. So these next few slides I'm going to share with you are what I call my bragging slides. This is where I get to say about all my accomplishments, and the reality of it is I'm not bragging. I want to inspire you. I literally came from nothing. I didn't have any money. I didn't have more than $2,000. I didn't know anybody famous. Now I get to travel the world. This is me in the suit next to Mark Victor Hansen at the very top. I've been on the same stage as Mark Victor Hansen, Donald Trump, Sir Richard Branson, been over to London, been to Canada, been across the entire United States. You'll see on here I have Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. I helped mentor and train him. You'll see the top right is a plane where that is my friend's private jet. It was actually a student of mine that flew to me to get private consultation with me, to hang out with the Black Eyed Peas. I love automobiles, as you're going to see. I create a life and lifestyle that most people only dream about, and it's not really that I want to brag, it's that I want to inspire you. I love vehicles, I love cars, I love boats, I love motorcycles, and I spend a lot of money on these things. My Porsche is very, very exotic. I bought a fire truck, I don't need that thing. Got the Batmobile, have cars, and I just love my life and my lifestyle. And boats, of course. I'm a #1 bestseller in 6 categories on Amazon.com, so I'm very proud of that, and I got a couple more books coming out. So the reality of it is, folks, is the person you listen to gets it. I've been there. I've done that. So I'm not teaching you from theory. I'm absolutely teaching you from 1, the heart, and from 2, full-blooded experience. I've actually gone through the gauntlet. I started off with thinking I was kind of a retard. I was called a retard in school. I was picked on as a child, and I was told I would never amount to nothing. I had challenges learning, and it takes me a long time to actually learn new techniques and strategies, and I thought there was something wrong with me because of that. And the reality of it is there was nothing wrong with me. Most people have to hear things over and over and over again, which is why I say you need to do a seminar at least every 60 days. You'll see this picture right here. This is my daughter. She's 15 years old. That's how I know how long I've been doing real estate investing, is 16 years, because when I knew she was going to be born, I vowed never, ever, ever to let my daughter grow up the way I did, with lack, with going without. And she has absolutely lived an abundant lifestyle. And she's grown up what I call a millionaire's mentality and not a pauper's mentality. She has never, ever heard certain words that I had to hear over and over and over again as a child. And she's been motivated, inspired, and she's succeeding well beyond my wildest dreams, and she's just getting started. So what I want you to write down right now is write this down as well. Write, what is my why? On a piece of paper, write in big words, what is my why? What is my why? Because if you don't have a big enough why do you want to become a millionaire? But just because you want to have money, it's not a strong enough pull. You got to have a bigger why. Well, she was my why. Because I'm going to tell you something else that most speakers won't teach you and train you, and that is this. There's going to be times where this is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very challenging. There's going to be days where you're going to want to quit and you're going to want to give up. I know for some of you on the call, just hearing that inspired you. Like, wow, this guy's really telling me the truth here. He's just going to tell me straight, not telling me to, oh, just come and join us, and every day is going to be roses and $100 bills falling out of the trees, because that's just not reality. And some days is amazing, because I've had days where within an hour I made $56,700 on one real estate transaction. That's a pretty good day. Today was a pretty darn good day. And some days is very, very challenging, no matter if you have money or not. The reality is, it's not that you get better or have less challenges when you become wealthy. It's that literally you just get better at dealing with challenges that come up. So what is my why is a question you have to answer for yourself or later on after this call. So most people say, well, how do I do this, Will? Great, you inspired me. Mr. Willpower Duquette, empower me. What do I need to do? Well, here you go. On the very next slide, whoops, I went 2 slides. Write these 3 words down because they're absolutely imperative. See, most people say, yeah, I want to be a millionaire. In fact, you on the call, you on the webinar listening right now, who really seriously would love to become a millionaire in the next 12 to 24 months? Really, mentally raise your hand or raise your hand if you want to. Like, do you really want to become a millionaire in the next 12 to 24 months? Because if you do, it's going to take something. It's going to take you taking actions on the things you know you need to take. It's going to take you getting past your fears, and it's going to take you actually taking time out of your day and your life to actually get trained, because it's going to take something. It doesn't take one webinar and you learn. It doesn't take a whole bunch of free meetings and networking groups and webinars and conference calls that you paid nothing for to go learn this business, because we cannot teach it to you for free, and quite frankly, I wouldn't do it for free because I've done it before. Most people do nothing with it. There's got to be some type of an investment. But taking action now is the most important thing you can do, and here's why. Because you don't know how many tomorrows you have. You just don't. So many people are so out of touch with their own mortality, they think they're going to live forever. I know this because my dad died suddenly not too many years ago, and I literally thought I'd see him for the rest of my life, and I went to go meet him one day, or not the rest of my life, for a good another, 40 years. And I went to go see him, and our relationship was okay. It wasn't bad, but I wanted to be amazing because I helped transform so many other people's lives. So I went to go visit him. The conversation didn't go all that great, and I left his house, with a superficial "I love you, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks when I come back." Well, I never got to see him again because he died in a car accident a week and a half later. And my sister called me up hysterical and said, "Dad's dead," and that's all that was to it. When I went to his funeral, I realized that really we do not know how many tomorrows we have. My life has changed forever. But I want you to write down below this on the next sheet of paper.
Will, can you hear me?
Yes.
Will, can you hear me? Yeah, your slide's not changing on the presentation for some reason. Can you double check to make sure it's not on pause, your screen?
Well, can you see the Take Action Now slide?
Nope. All I can, it's still the very first title slide.
Oh, really? Man, I haven't gone through all these slides for nothing. Stop showing screen, show my slide. I don't know. And this is what you get, folks, when you have somebody who knows how to do real estate, but is not techie.
Click on show my slide.
Yeah, I pay people to do this stuff. Nobody's here to help me. It doesn't say. Oh, it does say pause. Okay. Well, how do I unpause it? I'm glad you chimed in, Tim.
Yeah, must have happened earlier when we were messing around with the webcam. I paused your slides for some reason.
Yeah, well, it's always had this little 2 bars up here saying it's paused. Let's see. I don't know how to do this, buddy.
Okay, how about try stop showing your screen and then click on show my screen again and see.
Every time I click on this, it just keeps going clunk, 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 like I'm doing something wrong, which I'm sure I am. Yeah, so I've been changing slides for a while. Yeah, every time I do something, it's clunking. Can you hear it? I don't know why.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, that means it's not letting you control your thing. which I don't think you can even. Hold on, okay. I'm gonna switch back to me as the presenter, and then switch to you and see if it do anything. Okay.
I tried to change presenters and wouldn't let me do it.
Oh really? Okay. Well,
go ahead and play around with that, and then chime in whenever you're done. So I'm going to continue some education and training. All right, I'm going to give you control. There you go.
Okay.
All right. All right, so taking actions on anything that you want. So what I was going to tell you to write down is this. Take actions at a different speed. See, we have a certain speed that we were born into growing up in a public school system like I was, if you were, of that we got plenty of time to get things done, and we keep putting things off till later. And the reality of it is, as you keep putting things off, one, keeps piling up, two, your self-confidence keeps dropping, and three, it never gets done. So write a to-do list every single night. And this was key for my success, is that every single night I would write a to-do list. And if it's going to be when I was doing real estate, so, okay, read chapters 1 through 5, right? Understand them fully. All right, show my screen. Is that working now?
Hey, yes, it's working now.
Hey, now you can see the take action now. All right, I'm going to back up and show you guys all my. Ready? We're going to do this fast forward. Here's all the fun stuff I did. Yay, cars, boats, toys. Yay, 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 big deal. #1 bestseller. Here's my wife, my daughter, and take action now. So now you're up to speed. You didn't miss a thing. Thanks, Tim. I really appreciate that, bud. All right. So the reality of it is, and I've taken $500,000 worth of education up to this point, and it wasn't just real estate investing. It was personal development. It was like really understanding my head. I'm a hypnotist. I know how to actually help transform people's subconscious mind to get them unstuck, and that's kind of one of the elements that Tim saw with me to bring to the table, so to speak, with his students to help them be even more successful. I'm very good at getting people from doing okay to creating amazing stuff in their lives, because I do the exact same thing. So I want you to kind of time warp when you do things. Actually, don't put it off till later. Take action on it right now. And the last thing I want you to write down is this about time and management. Write this down. And write it exactly the way I say it, please. If I knew, write this down, if I knew I could not lose, if I knew I could not lose, what would I do? If I knew I could not lose, what would I do? I mean, the reality of it is, if you knew you weren't going to lose, you just go forward with it and just get on with it. So we're going to just get on with it, because it's very, very simple. Teaching you real estate investing is not hard. You write this down. It's not difficult. It's different. It's not difficult. It's just different. You just don't know the language of it yet. That's all. And I had to learn that language called real estate investing. And it's quite different from real estate realtors, rather, where you're a real estate agent for a commission. One, there's no risk other than you just don't make any money if you don't sell something. Well, that's different than an entrepreneur who actually loses money if you don't sell something. And so as an entrepreneur, you kind of turn your game up. So flipping 101 is three simple things. Wholesaling, which is the art of buying a house low and selling it to somebody else without touching it for a little bit more money, and leaving more money at the third person to take it and actually go fix it up, rehab, do whatever they need to do with it in order to make money. That's wholesaling. And basically, you get in the middle of the transaction. Second is wholetailing. Wholetailing is kind of like where you buy something for a lower price, you fix it up just slightly, very little, mostly cosmetic, a couple thousand tops, and then you sell it to the end consumer, or you sell it to somebody just fixed up good enough and not completely rehabbed for a profit. And then third is called rehabbing / to retail. That's where you buy a house, fix it up completely, you sell it at the top end of retailing. So that's how simple it is to do that. So now we do multiple different real estate strategies, and we're going to teach and train you with all those. But some of you could use a $5,000 or $10,000 check like right now, like next week. Every single person on this webinar and on this call, every single one of you, if you pay attention and listen to what we're talking about and do what we ask you to do, could easily put a $5,000 to $10,000 check in your pocket by the end of the month, by the end of the week, if you chose to, by tomorrow, end of day, if you choose to. But it's all depending on the power and the speed of how you want to go forward and what you think it should be true. What you think is true for you is true for you. I remember I went to a seminar one time. I went to many, many seminars. I'm a seminar. Why did I succeed? Because I keep going to seminars. I still do to this day. And I went to this one seminar. It was a 1-year-long seminar. We went once a month. And you went to a 3-day training once a month. On the car ride down to this training, a realtor said, hey, is it okay if I drive down there with you? And I said, absolutely sure, you can do that, but here's the thing, don't expect to talk to me. It's a 6-hour drive, by the way. So I said, don't expect to talk to me because I'm not going to be speaking to you. I'm going to be doing business the entire way there and back. He says, oh, that's fine. So I did exactly what I told him I was going to do. The entire way down and back, other than maybe lunch and a couple of short conversations I had with him and maybe getting directions, I was on the phone doing deals, structuring deals, talking to people, networking, moving my life forward, moving my business forward. I went all the way back home, barely spoke a word to the guy at the seminar, and dropped him off at his house. He gave me the biggest hug. And he's with a tear in his eye, he said, you changed my life forever. Thank you. And I said, well, what are you talking about? I didn't even talk to you. You drove down there with me. We went to a seminar. I didn't talk to you hardly at all at the seminar. I didn't even see him hardly at the seminar because there was a group of like 200 or 300 people in there, and I was mingling doing my thing. And he says ever since, and I talked to him ever since, he goes, you know what? He goes, you changed my life forever. He goes, you gave me permission to, one, to succeed just by listening to you, and two, made me realize that I thought in my mind that I was only supposed to call a certain amount of people in one day because they would have been, bothered because I call them so much, etc. And he goes, just watching you make those calls all the way down there and keeping your business moving, having juggling all these balls in the air all the way down there and back while you're driving down there as well. He says, touch, moved, and inspired me in such a way I know it's going to change my financial future forever. And I talked to this man since then. He's a realtor, and it absolutely has. He has literally doubled and tripled his income because of just that one ride down there. So what I want you to understand is you got to turn up your speed. There isn't no tomorrow. Act like there is no tomorrow. I live my life like that every day, like there is no tomorrow. My dad, when he passed away, really taught me that. You don't know how many tomorrows you had. My dad died in a very freak car accident where the car basically went berserk, floored itself, and went off and crashed, and he passed away. That was not, you couldn't see that coming. But I know he died with a ton of regrets. I know that for a fact because I talked to him about him that one time. And he was sat there literally in misery for the last few years of his life in a very, very bad marriage that he did not enjoy, a person he did not enjoy, who spent all his money, so he pretty much died broke at the same time. And he was not happy. And I share this with you to inspire you to go, look, it doesn't matter who you're with or what you're doing. You don't need somebody's permission to succeed, and you certainly don't need somebody's permission to live powerfully. And if it's going to make them feel that you're living powerfully, just invite them to come live powerfully as well or get out of the way. And I say this with love and respect for both males and females, because there's nothing I love more is to empower a female who thinks a man is a plan. Because the reality of it is they're just not. Every single woman has a desire inside them to be successful, and some of you play small so not to make their husband feel bad or their significant other feel bad because they may make more money. And the reality of it is I love to take a single female that especially has a child and show them how to be financially free. And they send me an email or a postcard or something showing me that they made $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000, $70,000 is one girl. That changes people's lives forever. So all of you, this is very attainable. Here's some of my checks right here. As you see, the top one is $40,000. That was actually a $60,000 total deal for me. Wingate Road was $36,000. The bottom one was $42,000, and that actually turned into $120,000 because I sold it again. This property I'm showing you right here had ARV, A-R-V, which is, write this down, after repaired value of $500,000.
Will.
Yeah.
Your slide's not showing again.
What'd you do, man? I didn't do it this time.
I didn't do anything. So okay, let me switch back like I did earlier. Hold on.
Here's what I know it is. I'm so powerful. When I get around electronics, they just can't function. That's what it is.
I think so.
For those of you on the call, how many of you have ever been at work and things just ain't working out the way you wish that they would? And the reality of it is that I'm going to manage this no matter what. Because here's the thing: I have no attachment to looking bad on this webinar or when I'm in front of the group. Because here's what I'm here for. I'm here to change your life. The person on this webinar or on this call listening to this recording. I'm not here to change my life. My life is amazing, and it's going to get even better and better every single day, and it always does. It says pause again already, Tim, though. And so I want you to have one thing clear, understand that I'm here to help change your life. The question is, are you going to allow me and Tim to do that? And it's entirely up to you to allow us to do that or not. This screen is still saying pause. There's a house up here with the ARB of $500,000. Just write this down. You don't need to see a picture. I'll tell it to you. Some of you are not even on the webinar. You're listening in anyways, and that's fine. The ARB was $500,000. They owed $115,000. That's how much the mortgage was on it. The payment was $1,200, and they were only asking $400,000. The reason why they were selling this house is they started building a new house already in another state, and they've moved quickly. Now, if you can see the picture, it's a beautiful, nice brick home, 2-story house in a very good area. It had been listed for a year. See, sometimes you're going to meet people say to me, well, why do people do that? Why do they give you their houses? Why do they give you all this equity? Why do they give you all this money? And the reality of it is because they're just lazy, to be quite honest. 99% of the reasons why I get such good deals is people say, I just don't want to deal with it. I just don't want to mess with it. I don't want to deal with it. I just, here, fine, take it. I don't want to deal with it. And if you haven't noticed by now, people in America are kind of lazy, especially compared to other worlds, other countries. And the reality of it is that it's just not going to, all you have to do to be successful in America, rather, is just not be as lazy as the next person. That's all it takes to do that. You have to just do a little bit more than the person next to you. I remember seeing an interview with Will Smith. It was amazing about that. He says, listen, I know I'm always going to win because I'm willing to run a little bit harder than the guy next to me. That's it. And it's really all it takes. It's not that it's hard to make money in real estate. It's not that it's hard to make money in the United States. It's not difficult to do these things. You just have to be willing to put in your time and do the work. So all you got to do is just go learn what we learned. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel. Somebody's already done the successful stuff that you want to do in real estate. I have done it. Tim has done it. Many people have done it. You just need to go duplicate and model what we've already done, and that's exactly what we're here to share with you and show you. So whether you can see my screen or not, we got the numbers. They wanted $500,000. They owed $115,000. I asked them if they'd sell the house or what they owe on it. Of course, they said no. And what I did with them is that, by the way, all my competition was at this deal. And when you learn to speak to people, one, with integrity, and two, letting them know clearly that, look, I'm here to make as much money as I possibly can, just like you are, if that's the case. And I just said that to them. And they said, you know what, I'm really glad you said that because you're the only one that's come over here and actually said it. They all kept trying to convince me that the offer they were making was a good deal for me. And I really love the fact that you were just being straight honest with us, saying, yeah, you want to make money as much as you possibly can, and so don't I. And if we can come to an agreement that makes sense for both of us, we'll move forward. You'll sell the house, and I'll buy the house. Or I may give you some great information, and you go sell the house to somebody else. But it doesn't matter to me. I'm here with full integrity to help people if I can. Now, this house, by the way, was listed for a year, and the entire interior was painted Pepto-Bismol pink. Oh, my gosh, pink. Absolute Pepto-Bismol pink. Every single wall, everyone, bathrooms, kitchen, living rooms, bedrooms, everything, pink, the entire thing. Flat pink, too. It wasn't even bright pink. I couldn't believe it. So I said to them, you know, all you got to do is paint this house tan on the inside, and it'll sell. And they said, yeah, I know. Our realtor's been telling us that for an entire year. Now, how ridiculous is it that these people, the realtors told them, if you spent $1,500 for a painter and paint the entire interior of your house, it'd sell in a second. And it would have, and I know it would because I did, because I bought it. I ended up, you know, these people just didn't want to do that. They ran out of time. They needed money for their new house. So I bought it, as you can see here on the slide, or maybe not because it says paused. But I paid $350,000 with all my competition there, like everybody. I'm talking, there was like 30 real estate investors at this property trying to get this deal once the listing had expired, and we knew we could actually get on this. And they were calling everybody. They literally told me, I'm calling everybody that knows that does real estate investing. So I paid $350,000. I did it with owner financing, where they owner financed it for me. I sold it less than 90 days later for $485,000. And I had about $10,000 in cost in it. That was the closing cost, fixing up the interior a little bit, tweaking, of course, painting it. So all I really did is paint it tan. It was gorgeous inside and out, other than the paint. And then I did a little bit of stuff in the kitchen. So I made $125,000 profit on this one deal. And my competition called me up many times, or a couple of them, about 3 or 4 of them, said, you know, how did you get this deal? What did you do? And I said, well, you know, I teach a 3-day seminar to teach exactly what I do, how I do it. And they just said, well, 2 of them said, you know what, I'm not going to give you any money. Well, how much is it? And I sold $3,000. And so $3,000, I'm not going to give you $3,000. You make all this money. You're so rich. You drive this Jaguar. Why in the world should I give you any more money? Well, this is what I call a pulper's mentality. And if you have that mentality that you're afraid to be sold or don't want to buy something, you just want to be rich, I can tell you right now, you're always going to be one of the pulpers. You'll always be stopped and stuck. So I want you to be very, very cautious as to the way you're speaking. Because all day long, and I teach this in my hypnosis classes, all day long you're either pushing people further away from you or drawing them towards you. And how many of you love to learn the skill sets and the language patterns like NLP and hypnosis patterns where you talk to people on a subconscious level, so without thinking you're magnetically pulled to do the things you know you should do, 1. And 2, you actually draw people towards you into your life, manifest in your life, law of attraction, if you will, In fact, it's even in the Bible and God. Wherever you believe the power comes from, it's there. So you must get trained on how to actually talk to people so they want to do business with you. And that's what I absolutely displayed on this deal, because literally there was about 20, 30 real estate investors, all of us wanting this property. And when I showed up, I got a deal and I made $125,000. And the funny thing is, 2 of the investors that called me out of the 3 or 4 said, heck no, I'm not going to pay you for that seminar. One of them said, I'll call you back because I definitely see the value and I want to go to that seminar, and then never called me back. And then the 4th one called me back, gave me their credit card information, gave me $3,000, came to my seminar, and now knows how to do exactly what I did. Because when I teach and train, I share with you every single thing that I know. So, Tim, it still says pause, so I don't know if you're trying to work on unpausing these so they can see the deals as I scroll through. It's going to be kind of important here in a second when I start going through the case studies and how to partner.
Yeah, I don't know why it keep on going pause automatically. It's not even. Yeah, it's very odd. Like it'll show, like I can see the screen of the $500,000 deal, but I don't see any other.
A green box at the bottom that says I paid $350, or is that not there?
No, it's not there.
All right, well, let's just keep kicking it back over to me, and I'll keep doing it, and we'll just drive on. I mean, that's all we can do.
Okay, we'll make it work.
It is not my cup of tea, Bubby. I don't do technical stuff. So I'm going to move along. So I had another deal. There's one more deal of mine. I'm going to move on to case studies and showing you how to partner with us. So the reality of it is, by the way, why are we doing this? Because we're looking for partners, right? We're not here to sell you books and tapes and courses and seminars, as I want to prove to you by the end of this conversation. What we are looking for is for people who are willing to do what it takes. And that is meaning, can you see it now, Tim? What do you see? Enter audio pin number 12. Can you see it? You should see it. It says on air showing screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen now. Yep, I can see all the screen.
I'll try not to put my awesome power out into the universe and crash this thing again. It's challenging. So, anyways, back on the track here. So let me show you one more of my deals and show you more partnering. So why are we looking for partners? Well, here's the reality. There's so many leads and so many deals going on right now. All we need for you is to kind of pre-screen them and bring them to us, and we'll show you exactly what to do. We got to get you trained up, though. There is some certain things to know. This deal I'm talking about right here is Tierra Verde Lane. I bought this house and I flipped it with 1.7 acres of land. There was still 5 acres of raw land left over. When I flipped this house less than 60 days, I made almost $30,000 total profit up front. And by the way, all these deals I'm talking to you about, I put $10 down. 99% of my deals, I only have $10 of my own money in my pocket, and that's how I've been doing this the entire time. So I did that correctly, but I had 5 acres of raw land left over, as you can see right here. So what could I do with 5 acres of raw land with pine trees all over, etc.? Well, most of you are probably saying, well, you could subdivide it and clear it off. So my question for you is, if you're going to subdivide it and clear it off, would you do it yourself, or would you hire somebody else to do it? And most of you would say, oh, of course you'd hire somebody. And this is where I'd say, where were you when I needed you? Because I went out and I bought, and I do mean bought, one of these Tracos, a 45,000-pound Traco, because I was going to clear land myself because somebody else wanted to charge me so much money. Now, I'm a super genius, I know. This is where I like to say, behind every great man is a woman what? Rolling her eyes, saying, are you an idiot? You don't need to buy these. And I'm saying, don't tell me. I know what I'm doing. I'm the one who built this wealth. I'm going to get a Traco. I want a Traco. I got the money for a Traco. I can afford a Traco. So I got a Traco. Unfortunately, it was a huge mistake for me because it actually taught me quite a bit of stuff. One, that if you buy a Traco and it breaks down, you get to be the sole person to fix it. If you rented one, then they split it sometimes or pay for it, depends on the case. Two, I have to actually be in this thing cleaning out all these stumps that were cut down from these pine trees on 5 acres of land. I had to spend $40,000 for dirt because every time I dug up a stump, it actually had a big hole, and I had to keep filling it in to make it level. Another big mess. $40,000, I said. 400 truckloads of dirt at $100 a piece. You add it up. Please don't ever say dirt cheap to me because it ain't cheap. I now have a constant reminder on my desk. There's a $1,000 chrome alloy gear, if you're looking at the screen, on my desk right now currently as I'm speaking. It's sitting right there in front of me. as a constant reminder to stop trying to do it cheaper and by myself, because it just always costs me more money. Now, this is where I learned very powerfully about manifestation. Now, write this down, by the way. All things happen for a purpose, and it serves us. All things really do happen for a purpose, and it serves us. Most of us heard that. But here's the second part of it that most people did not listen to or hear. So all things happen for a purpose, and it serves you. And the second part is this. Lessons will keep getting harder until you learn them. Write this down. Lessons will keep getting harder until you learn them. And boy, how do I know this? Because they just kept getting harder. This one finally got so hard that I said, God, literally, you believe what you want. I said, God, please send me a buyer. This has been an absolute nightmare. I promise never to do it cheaper by myself for the rest of my life. Just please get this thing out of my hair. And literally within 48 hours, I got a full price, all cash offer, and I made $214,115. And that transaction taught me quite a bit. This is what I know that I learned that I got, that I learned a lesson and I got rewarded for it. Because the reality of it is that, you know, I could have failed, I could have stopped, and I could have just sold it for less because many people tried to get me to do that, and I just wouldn't do it. And so the learning lesson in there for me is to stop trying to do it cheaper and by yourself. A lot of you are still trying to do it cheaper and by yourself, and it always costs you more money. Oops, no, it won't change. There we go. So Prosperity Group student partnering. So let's show you some deals. Some of these actually partnered, some did not, and they're all mixed within. I'm going to start scrolling through a lot of these very, very soon. So this is where you kind of come in. This is where we're looking for people like you from all walks of life. Doesn't matter what you do, how old you are, how young you are, what your ethnic background is, whether you even speak clear English or not, whether you are educated in real estate or not, it doesn't matter. You could be a cleaning lady, you could be a busboy, you could be a bartender, you could be a mechanic, you could be a policeman, you can be a fireman. It's irrelevant as to what your actual profession was up until this point, because the reality of it is any one of you can be a super successful real estate investor just like all these students. So here's one deal. They found this deal with a postcard. It's under contract for $50,000. Repairs were very minimal. Sold it for $55,000 in a very short amount of time. There's a picture of it, Saddle Rock. So what that means is they made $5,000 profit by doing nothing except doing one piece of paperwork, which is a purchase and sales agreement contract from a postcard. How much does a postcard cost? It's pennies. Excuse me. They then flipped it to somebody else with an assignment and got an assignment fee of $5,000. What I just shared with you folks was a student that had no risk and no money involved and actually could not lose based on just a few techniques, and this one actually was a postcard. Now, how many of you, what would $5,000 do for your life with you literally just having to use your brain? Leverage your brain and not your wallet when you're buying real estate is what I always say. You don't need money. You could have money, and you can actually, you know, money is king and cash is king, so you can actually structure stronger, more powerful deals. But it doesn't have to be yours. It could be yours. We're going to show you how you don't have to use yours if you don't want to. And that's a $5,000 flip, basically. So next one is Regency, 11 Regency. Another direct mail campaign. They got it under contract for $20,000. They sold it for $28,500, made $8,500 on a flip. There's Hugo, or Arco. Hugo made $232,454.09. In fact, I just met him last week. He's actually over $300,000 to date. Somebody say cha-ching. How many of you would like to make $300,000 your first year out of the gate for your real estate investing? Well, some of you. Okay, this was a deal that was found. This one really drives me crazy about realtors. Realtors have the gold right underneath their fingertips, and they do absolutely nothing with it. They don't know how to do it. I don't know why they don't take advantage of us. This deal was brought by a realtor. Was found by a realtor. They brought it to one of the Prosperity Group students of ours. They put it under contract for $120,000. Now get this, the realtor brought the deal, said here's a deal. They put it under contract for $120,000, said thank you, realtor. They got a tiny little fee. No, they didn't even close yet. Funded it with 100% private money, so then they closed and they paid a realtor a little tiny 3% commission. It was worth $230,000 to $240,000, but they sold it quick because of $39,000 worth of repairs. The buyer was found through the same agent that brought the deal. So get this straight. A real estate agent said, hey, there's a good deal. watched them buy a good deal, and then brought them a buyer for the good deal and sold it for $230,000. And check this out on the screen. They made $71,000 in profit without using any of their own money, their own credit, or own real estate license. And in this case, again, this is free marketing. You find a realtor you can work with, they bring you the deals, and then they find you a buyer because they want to get a commission both times. You make $71,000, and they make a 3% commission. Folks, this is kind of a no-brainer. This is going on all around you. So again, I'm just going to scroll through these. I can't go through all these deals. These are students that have, some have partnered, some have not. Here's another one. It's a $25,000 assignment fee. That means they never closed on it, never used any money, put a small binder deposit down, and flipped it to somebody else, made $25,000 in the middle. How many of you, what would $25,000 do for your life and your lifestyle is the question for you. That was Pine Forest. Here's Pine Forest. Direct mail yellow letter campaign made $26,000 on an assignment fee from a direct mail yellow letter campaign that we teach and train you how to do. $26,000. What could you guys do with 26 grand? I don't care who you are, another extra $26,000. Maybe you just want to make $20,000 or $30,000 per month. Maybe that extra $20,000 or $30,000 would get you out of the rat race, get you to retire, or whatever. All of this is very, very easy. By the way, that is pretty much doing only 2 or 3 deals a month tops part-time. Here's Cynthia Samples, made $21,000. Another deal. Direct mail campaign, assignment fee of $7,000, an assignment fee. They got no money, no credit, no real estate license again. Granite, postcard, got under contract, $50,000, worth $100,000. This was bought from, the buyer was found through Prosperity Group. This was a partner right here. They partnered with this. Check this out. They sold it for $60,000 in 1 hour to make a $10,000 profit. That was a partnership deal that went through Prosperity Group. Next, Kenneth, Walker Street. Postcard, $80,000. Sold for $110,000 in 48 hours. Made $30,000. How many of you would like to make $30,000 in 2 days? Some of you would like to make $30,000 in 6 months. Maybe some of you even want to do it in a year. I say take off your blinders and really start getting serious about your life and your lifestyle, because none of this is hype. All of this was 100% documentable, that all these people have made this money and much, much more. Again, I told you this was a partnership deal through Prosperity Group as well. There's another one. They bought it, again, through word of mouth, made $84,000. I can keep going through these all night, folks. Here's another one, made $10,000 profit in the same day. This is very common when you partner with us because we have a network of people that are selling and buying constantly. We know exactly who they are and where they are and what they're looking for. Rick Miles, there's another one, made $20,000 profits, but again, partnered with Prosperity Group. Another one, Doug Dogwood, made $23,000 profit. Buyer found through a bandit sign, a $1 sign, made $23,000 because they were smart enough to take a direction and take action and make a decision on what they want out of their life and lifestyles. There's Marcelo Garcia with Tim here, a picture of him. Here's a deal he did. Made $10,000 on a quick deal again. Buyer, this is a partnership deal with Chimney Sweep Drive. It was word of mouth marketing. This is what I mean about today's world. Marketing is cheap. It doesn't cost nowhere near what it used to be when I first started doing real estate. Word of mouth said, hey, here's a deal. Got under contract for 27, sold it for 37, made a quick $10,000 profit by partnering with Prosperity Group. Steve Kenny, here's another one. Marketed with a bandit sign, got under contract for $25,000. Where'd it go? Sold for $29,000, profit of $4,000. Again, quick little $4,000 in and out through another partnership agreement with Prosperity Group. Here's another one. Rice Flower is the name of the street. Postcard. The contract price, $25,000. Sold it for $33,000 for $8,000 profit. That was another partner through Prosperity Group. They partnered with them. Stewart says buyer found through Prosperity Group. That means they're partnering with them. There's another one. Postcard. Price $34,000. Sold it for $46,500. Profit was $12,500. Again, partnering with the Prosperity Group. So I don't know how many more you need to see on here, folks, but here's the reality of this, is that my question for all of you is if you're not doing this, if you're not producing these types of checks, if you're not creating this life and lifestyle for yourself and for your family, why not? Because these people you saw are not super geniuses. These people that you are seeing are not people that are smarter than you. These people do not know any more real estate than you. They may have started just before you, but they all still have the same fears and hesitations as you may have as well. When you come and study with us at the Prosperity Group, we're going to teach and show you how to do exactly this. I'm going to ask you here in a moment to come and train with us for a 3-day seminar. I mean, obviously, you know at the end of this, we're going to ask you to move forward because I can't teach you real estate investing on this call. So here's another postcard deal, $106,000 sales price, sold it for $111,000, profit was $5,000. Again, another Prosperity Group flip partnership agreement right there. Here's another one, Greg. Postcard, $48,000 bought it for, sold it for $59,000. That's another $10,000 profit, again, as a partnership group with Prosperity Group. Partnership agreement. Found through Prosperity Group, contract was $41,000. They sold it and sold it for $49,900, had a profit of $8,400 again. There's a retail commercial center. This one was bought through a postcard/referral, which means it was actually a referral from a postcard they sent. Contract price, $200,000. You're going to want to pay attention to this one. This one's really cool. Contract price was $200,000. They're asking $483 because they're just going on the high end to see what they could get. They took their very first offer because this thing had $50,000 worth of repairs needed on it, and the first offer was $300,000. And I believe they just closed this one last week. I'm not positive. Don't hold it to me, but I believe that's when it was. So what that means is they made a $100,000 profit again by doing nothing more than marketing, knowing how to fill out a purchase and sales agreement, marketing to sell, filling out either another purchase and sales agreement or an assignment, and then selling it to the end consumer to actually pay for it and making a profit in the middle. That's how you make real estate money, folks, nowadays, not by getting all entangled in these long, drawn-out rehabs, unless you know what you're doing with those, and there is money in those. But then you better be making $100,000 or more, $75,000 or more on rehabs. That's just my opinion. Here's Steve and Susan. They made $105,000 in their first 6 months. They actually went to other seminars for about a year. They came on board with Prosperity Group. I spoke to these nice folks. They had 13 deals or wholesale and 1 rehabbing, and they're closing $67,000 worth of new profit this week. I just talked to them. That, again, is because they got involved with the Prosperity Group. Ron and Cynthia Samples made $190,000 their first 6 months. Rick Miles made $240,000 their first year. Hugo made over $300,000 his first year. This is Rick. He made $800,000 his first year, over $800,000 his first year. And again, he was new. He's just absolutely rocking and rolling it. So here's my question for you, folks. If you listen this long, I know you got a lot out of this. You should be at least inspired and motivated. The question in your head is, well, why is this passing by me? Why am I missing out on all this? What I love about the webinar and the technology that we have is, for me, I always like to test people. I like to see what they're made of. I like to see if it's worth my time to actually spend with them to help train them up and if they're going to do anything. Because here's what I do know. How you do anything is how you do everything. I'll say it again. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I can see right now the amount of attendees that we have in this call right now. We have your emails. I see you. I see your names. I know exactly who's on this call. I'm about to ask you to trust in yourself and trust in us, give you an irresistible offer and say move forward. And trust in the fact that we're going to train you on exactly how to do exactly what all our students are doing. In exchange, we're going to ask you to pay an enrollment fee to get involved because we're not just going to train you for free. If you're not willing to spend a little bit of money to enhance yourself, and I mean a little bit compared to what I paid, oh my gosh, this is nothing. If you're not willing to take 3 days out of your life and get some continued training and actually keep honing sharpening your axe and honing your skills on how to get out of the rat race, then you've got to stop complaining to people your life is not the way it should be. Because when it comes to Prosperity Group and myself, when you get me in front of you, get other people in front of you training you, I can tell you this, that we're here to help change your life and do it forever. So the question is, who wants their assignment fees? Who wants their profits? Where are yours? Why aren't you sharing in this literally millions of dollars of education? Because if you're the person saying, well, I don't want to be sold anything, I just want to make money, well, you'll always be one of the paupers. As I can tell you right now, I can show you and literally prove to you many, many people I saw fall to the wayside. A couple of them actually get in trouble and go to jail because they did real estate the wrong way. You got to get the training. You're going to do it one way or the other. Are you going to pay for his training, or are you going to get lost and get stuck? So here's what it's going to take. Write this down. It's going to take two things only. Write this down. One is going to be education. Excuse me. We have the education. That's simple. That's a repeatable process that people have been doing for literally, decades now. Real estate has changed quite a bit, and you got to know how to deal with the current situation in real estate, and you got to know how to change with the situations. And that's why I'm always continuing my education, going to everybody whoever had real estate for sale or trained on how to buy and sell real estate. I bought the training. Why? Because it just was worth it for me to find out one thing different. Which, by the way, I found out one thing different 3 weeks ago from a guy that has literally transformed the entire way that I look at business and real estate and how I do it. I'm currently a real estate investor. I'll always do real estate investing. I started off with no money, and I learned how to buy and sell houses with no money, no credit, no real estate license needed. And the reality of it is I've never lost one penny in real estate transaction ever in my entire life, and here's why. Because I learned how to do it with no money, so since I learned how to do it with none of my own money, why would I ever start using my own money when I made it? And the answer is I didn't, and neither do you. You don't have to. So the first thing is we have the education, and we're willing to help teach and train those that are serious and willing to make a decision and take action on yourselves and for you and for your life. The second is this. You got to take action for your new lifestyle. If you're sitting here on a webinar this long, you obviously are looking for something better, more new in your life. I promise you we haven't. Here's the thing, though. You must do this one, and you must do it now. Because later on, it's too late. You're going to miss it. Later on, when you get into it, some other day is never going to come, and you're going to keep putting it off. You can come up with excuses. Write this down. At the end of the day, you have an excuse or you have a result that you require if you like. You either have an excuse or you have the result that you actually desire. So it's two simple things if you want to make kind of money, is education and take an action, and you have to take the action. We can train you on the education. I'm going to give you a list of the 5 top things, the 5 top reasons that most people fail at real estate investing. And I've seen this for the last 16 years, and it literally breaks my heart for some of the people that I begged and pleaded to pay for education, and they just didn't want to and actually get in trouble. First one is they're unwilling to pay for good education. I go to real estate investment groups at the very beginning. At my very first seminar, after I got out of my very first 3-day seminar, I went to a real estate RIA group meeting, and I got there and realized that there was people coming up to me saying, yeah, I've been doing real estate investing 15 years. And I said, really? I said, are you doing this? And they're like, what's that? How do you do that? I'm like, oh, you don't know that? No. I said, well, how about this? Do you do this? Well, no, I didn't know how to do it. They said they're picking my brain, but yet they were real estate investors for 15 years. It just didn't compute. And the reality of it is, I said, well, where did you get your training from? He goes, well, I've been coming here for 15 years. I said, you've been coming to one and a half hour, 2-hour seminar a month for the last 15 years. I said, how much money did you make last year? The guy told me, I'm not even going to share it with you because it was flat out embarrassing. I said, how can you live on that? He says, I don't. I still work a job. Folks, if you're going to do real estate, do it. Make money. Do your job. What I'm doing right now is my job. This is my income that I have to do. I don't have to, it's not passive. My real estate income is passive. I sit back, I play, I get on my boat, I play around. I got real estate that's going to pay me and can pay you ongoing into the future. But the reality of it is if you're going to be real estate investing, you might as well do it full time because it just takes too little time and no money to go make a lot of money. Most people can do a couple real estate transactions under our guidance to replace their entire year's income. So I'd say, well, why not? Well, it's because most people are just unwilling to pay for a good education. And those people will always be broke, always be wondering how the other people are doing it because you got to get educated. That's exactly what I did. I'm only sharing with you this for a couple of reasons. One, it's what I did. People ask me, how did you get successful? I went and bought real estate seminars on how to buy and sell houses with no money down from the people who knew how to do it to keep me safe. And I spent a lot of money doing that, except for I made millions because of that, and it kept me safe, and I've never lost money in real estate ever. Number 2 is this. The second reason, the top 5 reason is unwilling to take the time to get trained. So people say, well, I don't care about spending the money, but, man, I got to go in a seminar for 3 days. If you think you can get on a webinar or online training or the library or books and tapes and courses and never go to a live training, and you really think it's going to up your game because you're missing out on networking, You're missing out on really seeing real people really do stuff that you can actually meet and realize that, hey, they're not really super intelligent. And if they can do it, you can do it. And that's one thing that really inspired me when I started going to seminars, is I met these people, and they really weren't 100% sure what they were doing, but yet they were still making money with it. Third thing is fear of loss or doubt. Fear of loss or doubt. I can tell you right now, there's some fear-based people on this webinar, and I want to teach you and train you and assure you that I am here to help you get past your fear and your doubts. I'm here to help you do whatever I can to make you succeed, as long as you allow me into your life to help you do that. I'm willing to help anyone who's willing to help themselves, but I'm not willing to give a handout. I can tell you the people on the call, they are here for a reason. There's quite a group of you, and once I said I can see you and how many people there is, I noticed that the numbers have maintained and people are not going anywhere. Because there's going to be a crossroads, there's going to be a fork in the road here very soon. And fear is going to come out and doubt's going to come out, and it will work against you if you allow it to. But I will tell you that me and Tim and the power team here, it will support you and coach you through this entire thing. Because that's reason number 4 that people fail. They don't have a power team and a support or coach to help you get through the tough times. Because there's going to be challenging times. Trust me on this one, folks. Trust me on this one. I remember many times where I took my books and tapes and courses that I bought after coming home from a seminar, and I would just go to the next level and start learning, and I get to a word I didn't understand, or a phrase I didn't know, or it didn't work out the way I thought it should have, and I get frustrated, and I just throw my books and courses on the floor. And then I remember my why, which is my 15-year-old daughter, and after I calmed down and stopped being an idiot, I go pick up the course, and I start reading again, and I'd reach out to somebody in one of my support teams or coaches or mentors, or somebody that's helping me work and train real estate investing, and I'd say, hey, I'm having a challenge over here. Do you mind helping me? And here's what I found out. People love to help people who are wanting to help themselves. I'm going to say that again. People love to help people who want to help themselves. But I'm also going to say the reverse is just the same. People who don't want to help themselves, people don't want to help. I don't want to help anybody that doesn't want to help themselves. I'm done doing that. I'm not going to force you to come by. I'm going to ask you to purchase something here in a little while. And the reality of it is, some of you will and some of you won't. And the ones that will change your lives forever. And the ones that won't, I'll actually have a little bit of tear for it, because it's going to really hurt my heart, because I know what you're missing. I know how hard it feels to be in a certain situation and know you want to bring your life to the next level, and yet you couldn't because of X, Y, Z, because of fear, because of whatever. We're going to make an offer on here to come partner with us and become trained with us for 3 days. And the reality of it is, it's going to take you getting past your fears and trusting in this process. And last but not least is number 5, lack of taking actions on great opportunity. I see so many people look at a real estate deal and be like, oh man, that looks so good. I got to go home and study it. What am I missing? What am I forgetting? What am I not getting? And they go home and they study it. And I'm like, just buy it. Buy the thing. Just go get it under contract. And they go think about it. I see them later on, and they tell me, oh, yeah, I'm going to go do it. And then I see them later on, like, you get that? No. I won't. And they thought about, well, what about this thing right here? And I'm like, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Go get it under contract. Okay, good. I also make sure I'll safe there. I'm going to go get under contract right now. I'm going to go call the seller right now. I'm going to go, okay, great, go do it. My gosh, what are you waiting for? Do it. And then I don't see them for a couple more days, and I see them again, or a week later, and I say, hey, whatever happened to that deal? And it doesn't matter without fail, ultimately, if it's a good deal, what happens? It's gone. The opportunity's gone forever. And it almost, funny thing is they almost are feeling better about it, like safe. Like, oops, oh well, I missed it. And then I look at them like they're insane, because I'm saying to myself, you missed $50,000 worth of profit. You don't even make $50,000. And that just really hurts me big time. I don't get that. I don't understand how people can't go make big bucks. We've been programmed in the public school system from birth how not to be successful, how not to make $50,000 in one transaction. It just don't compute. And our whole subconscious mind just goes haywire. And that's what I'm here to help support you with. So lack of taking action on a great opportunity misses a lot of people. In fact, there's an opportunity I'm about to share with you here on this call. And the last thing is here, 3 steps to partnering success with us. We're looking for a few key people to move forward. We're looking for you. We're looking for the person that's still on this call, because if you're on this call, you see value, and if you're still on this call, you know that this is the right place to be. Because quite frankly, if you heard me this long, you realize that I know what I'm talking about, and I'm very dead serious about helping you change your life. As long as you're willing to do it, I will help you. I'm always willing to help people who are willing to help themselves. So the first thing is this. Very first thing to the 3 steps of partnering success is this. Write this down. We must get you trained. We've got to train you on how, what, and where to find great real estate deals. That's it, and fast. See, once we teach and train you how to do that, we know that as soon as you get a deal you think is good, you're going to bring it to us because you're maybe afraid. You're like, hey, we got this deal. What do we do with this thing now? The seller said yes. Now what do we do? I think it's so hilarious when a new student will come to me and be like, oh, my God, they said yes. I'm like, okay, great. They've been doing that to me for years. That's awesome. That means money. And they're petrified, totally scared about it. And I get it. I remember my first time I had to pre-screen a seller on the phone. I bought the books and tapes and courses. They said to put out street signs. They said to pre-screen the sellers. They said to talk to them on the phone. And my gosh, I was scared to death to pick up my phone for 2 weeks. Now, some of you can say, yeah, I totally get that. I was afraid as a grown man. I was a bartender for many years. I did all kinds of things. Talked to humans all the time. I'm a strong guy. I'm not afraid of anybody. Fight anybody when I was younger. Here I am, too afraid to pick up the phone when some seller calls me looking for a solution to sell their house. So I get when it comes to fear exactly what it means. So that's why this kind of takes that element away, because we're going to teach and train you how to find the deals, what is a good deal, and where to find the great deals. And then when you're still afraid, give you an opportunity to bring them to us to actually partner with us. Now, I want to be very clear. You never have to partner with us if you don't ever want to. You never have to partner with Prosperity Group, FYI. Second thing is this. There is a small investment for your training, right? It costs money for us to put books and tapes and courses and seminars together, the staff together, the lighting, etc. So there is going to be a small investment. It's kind of a rite of passage. If you're not willing to pay this tiny bit of investment that I'm about to share with you on this call, on this webinar, then quite frankly, I question whether you're really serious about changing your life forever. Because I'll tell you, there's also going to be a money-back guarantee and an irresistible offer coming very soon. And the last thing is, number 3, write this down. You must be willing to take some direction and action on what we tell you to do, what we ask you to do. Because here's why. When we tell you to go do something, it's because we know it's what to do and we know you're going to be safe. We're never going to let you do something that gets you hurt. Never, ever, ever will do that. We'll say, go do this, and I'll never ask you to do anything that I haven't done myself in face of fear, because I get it. I was scared to death. I put $7,500 on a credit card 16 years ago. I actually went out and put money on a credit card. I had no way of knowing how the heck I was going to pay it back. I went out and did what they told me to do, and I put out signs, and the phone rang, and they scared the heck out of me and told me to answer the phone, and I was scared to answer the phone. It's a true story. For 2 weeks, I had my own private line coming to my house. It was nothing but that real estate phone 16 years ago, and that phone would ring, and I literally would sit there and watch it ring, and it'd go to voicemail, and here I am on voicemail. I'm all confident. I'm cocky. I got it. Hi, this is Will Duquette. I buy houses, any area, any condition, any prices. Leave your name and number, and I'll call you right back. And there I am standing over the phone, too scared to pick it up. So I get it. I totally get it. And we're here to help you get past all those challenges so that you can get massively into success for yourselves and share with us through partnering with deals if you choose to do so. So those are the 3 steps. So here's how we get started with this. We have a couple things for you. First thing is we have a 3-day Flipping for Millions seminar coming up. It's going to be right in your area. It's going to be in Houston, Texas is the next one coming up. So pay attention to this. Here's what you're going to get at the 3-day Flipping for Millions. First thing I'm going to tell you is I will be there. This person talking to you right here, I will be at this event. I'll be there. You can touch, you can feel, you can breathe, you can be there. I'll share with you even many, many, many more successes that I've had with myself and my students. There's not one challenge I promise that you can bring to me in your own life or lifestyle, keeping you stopped and stuck, that I cannot help you with. I guarantee you I can. That's what I've been doing for years. I help people get unstuck. I help people get past their fears, and I help people get profitable and wealthy in a very short amount of time, as long as you're willing to be moldable talent. As long as you're willing to do what I ask you to do and be moldable talent, I promise you're going to be successful. So here's the first thing you're going to get: how to make $5,000 to $15,000 per deal on a wholesale deal, as I already showed and pointed out to you. How to make $15,000 to $30,000 per deal on wholesaling houses, as I've already shown you on this webinar. How to make $30,000 to $50,000 per deal rehabbing and retailing houses, again, safely, without getting into trouble, without losing money. We're also going to teach you at the 3-day Flipping for Millions how to raise at least $1 million in private money in 30 days, because that's key. How many realize that when you know you got $1 million worth of somebody else's money, somebody else's buying power, that your confidence will go through the roof when it comes to getting a deal, because you actually have the money to close. If you need to close with all cash, which most of the time we're going to show you don't have to. Next is at the 3-day Flipping for Millions seminar is this, how to find deals using our top 5 marketing strategies to get all the leads calling you, how to have your phone ringing off the hook, and even while you're at the seminar. We're going to give you marketing techniques and strategies so that at the seminar your phone starts ringing, so that at the seminar we can actually start calling those deals live if you bring them and you have enough there. I do this every single one of my real estate seminars I've done. I get up in front of the class and call deals live. You bring in leads right here. I'll either do it live or even on the side. I have countless students who have literally said, this man has stopped his busy day. He gets $5,000 an hour to do nothing except go make a call in the other room after a seminar, during the seminar, at lunch, because I get it. When I help you succeed, it only comes back to me 1,000-fold. I've just been doing it way too long, and I understand that fully. How to talk to sellers and build rapport quickly. How to quickly analyze and negotiate for huge profits. Those 2 things I just said are the #1 things that take most investors out of the game. They don't know how to talk to sellers, 1. 2, they're very afraid of doing that. And 3, they don't know how to build rapport with people who are not like them. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then worst of all is when they finally do get past all that, they're not quite sure how to analyze a deal. And then when they do understand how to analyze a deal, they have no clue how to negotiate a deal with tactics, with strategies that are non-threatening, that don't make the seller mad. That took me years to figure that out, and I'm going to give you all of that. Next, on Flipping for Millions 3-day seminar, I'm going to show you how to quickly build your cash buyers list. So now you got $1 million worth of private money to buy with, and now you got a cash buyers list. So if you even needed the cash buyers, you have them right there at your fingertips. Those 2 alone will help you tremendously get confident in real estate investing, because you know you have the buying power to buy, and you also have the cash buyers to sell quickly. How to fund all your deals without ever using your own money or credit. How to fill out the contracts to keep you safe and never lose money, ever, 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 ever. You do what we ask you to do. You just can't lose. You cannot. It's not which way you win or lose, the real estate investing, the way we teach you and train you how to do it. It's which way you win first. That is absolutely the law that I learned from the beginning, and it's absolutely what I keep training until this day. All the contracts, forms, and market materials, and much, 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 much more we're going to teach you at the 3-day Flipping for Millions. Write these dates down, folks. The next Flipping for Millions is going to be in Houston, Texas. It's a 3-day seminar. It's May 16th, 17th, and 18th. Go ahead and write this down. Even if you're not completely sold on this right now, which you will be in a minute, you're going to want to have these dates. Write them down. That's May 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's a 3-day seminar. I believe it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will be in attendance at this seminar. You'll actually be able to come up to me and share with me your successes in your deals and your challenges, what's holding you back, because that's what I'm a master at doing, is how to get you unstuck and keep you moving. I'll tell you also that we can have you have a person come absolutely for free as a bonus, as you're going to see here in a minute. So at the 3-day Flipping for Millions bonuses, we're going to show you how to find and talk to private lenders, how to get at least $100,000 in a business line of credit. So just imagine this. We teach and train you how to market for free. We teach and train you how to market for money, which drives in better leads. And we also show how to make $100,000 in business line of credit, even if you have bad credit, so you can use that money to go market and grow your business. We're going to show you how to buy houses as a bonus with 0% financing and no money down. I've done this for more years than I care to count. I can show you exactly how to do it as well, and so will Tim and his team at the 3-day Flipping for Millions house. It's a bonus. How to get sellers to give you their houses for free. Yes, I said for free. I'm going to share with you my personal stories there as well, many of those I've had, as well as a student that I just did. Jamie, she just went down to this new city. She was trying to rent an apartment because she needed an apartment quick. And I said, Jamie, why would you do that? You know real estate investing. Just go find a house and get it for free. I gave her a couple little tips on how to catapult herself into doing that. It took her a total of 12 hours in this new city she never lived in to get a free house, and she's moving into it today. That's how current it is, today or tomorrow, I believe. That's how real and current this stuff is. So those are the bonuses. So here's the partnering process. I'll tell you, I'm about to share with you the normal investment, then I'm going to discount it down. So stay to the very end. I'm going to also tell you there's going to be a few bonuses only for the first few people that move forward, and here's why. I want to know who those people are. Again, I can see the attendees list that's right here in front of me. The people who are still on the call, I want to acknowledge all of you. Like, no joke, I want to acknowledge you for being on this call this entire time. Because literally it looks like it's about 99% of the people who started off with this call and this webinar are still on the call. So I want to take time to acknowledge you and say, you know, you are the people who inspire me. Because I remember when I was afraid back then and I was broke and I had no money and I wasn't sure, and should I trust this person, and really should I spend this money on this continuing education, and will it really work for me? So I want to acknowledge you for just being here, because it takes something to take charge of your life. And so because of that, I'm going to reward you with some very, very good gifts. First is the normal investment is $3,000 for the Flipping for Millions 3-day seminar, which nobody here is going to pay, so don't even worry about it. Not going to pay $3,000 because we're not here to sell you books and tapes and seminars. We want you to partner with us and bring us deals, as I'm going to prove to you in just a moment. In fact, I'm going to show you how all of you can get it absolutely for free by the end of this call. Yes, I said free. By the end of this webinar, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can actually get to the Flipping for Millions 3-day training and actually end up ultimately getting it for zero investment for free. Why? Because we're looking for partners. That's why. Second is this. We're going to give you 100% money back guarantee. When I finally discount this down to the investment I'm going to ask you to pay to show that you're real and that we should spend time training you, we're going to also tell you you can come to our entire 3 days. And if you don't think it was 100% worth every penny you paid, you come to the back table and say, I want a refund. It's right there, done. No questions asked. On top of that, I'm also going to ask you to do this. We're going to give you for free one free guest pass so that a person can go with you. Here's the type of person you should bring with you. If you have a business partner in it, obviously bring them. If you have a spouse, a husband or a wife, and you want them to come, even if they're not interested in real estate, I insist you have them come there. I have many, many seminars where the first day starts off with all kinds of fireworks, and the reason is because there's people that were drugged there, and I want them to come there actually drugged there because I want them to be your cheerleader when they get back home. Some of you are sitting there going, my gosh, I'd love to go do this, but he's going to be this or she's going to be that after I go, before I go, complaining about the investment. I know because I've been there, done this exact same process that you're in right now. And I'll tell you the best investment you can make is in you and actually get there despite them. And here's how that conversation goes, by the way, if you had that going on. Honey, I love you, and I don't want to do what we're doing for the rest of our lives. I want to be financially free, and I really believe in Prosperity Group and what they can give us. Please support me in what I'm doing, and don't complain about it anymore. That is the best conversation you can have with them. And just commit to going to it. They'll either come or they won't. And the reality is, whether they come or not, I'm going to help train you up and get you out there making money quick. And then you'll have what I call the shut-up check, where you get to come home with $60,000, and they go, what? This stuff works? Oh, my gosh. And that's what I call the shut-up check. They don't say nothing anymore. In fact, they say, hey, you better get back to another seminar. There's another one coming. And they become your cheerleaders. And that's why I want them to be there at the event with you. Even if they don't care about real estate, they'll get a lot of great benefit out of it. They'll at least see what's actually possible. They'll see us making money. They'll see other students around you making money, and it'll inspire them. Next gift I'm going to give you is this 2-day finding and flipping houses in 7 days. It's a 2 DVD packs, a $2,000 value. But again, I can only do this for the first few people. Now, some of you are saying, well, what about this free thing, Will? Well, here's how you can get the entire investment for free. Partner with us at the Prosperity Group on one of your deals. Just come and split it with us. One of your deals, we will pay you back your entire investment out of the very first deal that we split with you. Now, a lot of you are saying, that's priceless, and I know it's priceless because when I first started, there was nobody doing this. When I first started, there was no place to bring a deal to have somebody partner with. We just didn't know, there was nobody who would do it. It's priceless. I remember going up to real estate investors back then that were supposedly seasoned people, by the way. Now I look back and realize they didn't really know all that much. But I told them, I'll bring you a deal for free. I will give it to you. I found a deal. I'll let you keep all the money. You just walk me through one deal, and you can have all the money. I just want to see how to do one. I want somebody to do it for me, show me hands-on how to do it. And I was turned down 7 times. And quite frankly, it was the smartest thing that's ever happened to me because they would have just enabled me. They would have possibly made so I couldn't go do it myself. But the reality of it is, as we go through deals with you, if we go through a couple of deals with you, you'll have enough confidence where you won't need to do it. Now, this is well over $5,000 value. And like I said, I'm going to make this affordable for every single person on this call, so nobody's going to pay that. The first thing I want you to do before I give you the actual discounted price for this webinar call is this. Write this down. Here's where you go to sign up. There's 2 ways. One at prosperitygroup.com/. PROSPERITY. That's PROSPERITY.com/VIP. And there's a phone number to call. Now, don't just call this number to call this number. We're going to swamp this person, I can tell you. This is actually going to one person. I can tell you right now, if you all call her right now, she can't talk to all you right now, and it's going to take some time for her to get back. But if there is a challenge, like some of you are saying, geez, you know, I really want this. I don't know what the investment is yet, but I want it, and I got to figure out how to get the money. Maybe you have it available right now. Maybe you have a credit card you can put on right now. Maybe it's a check that's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's a closing that's happening next week. I don't know. Maybe get some gold or stocks or bonds or whatever you need to do to go figure it out. That's what millionaires and billionaires do. They say yes to what they want, and then they go figure it out. So for some of you, you might have to call that number to say, yes, I'm in, but I got to figure out a payment arrangement, and that's totally cool and totally fine. And for the rest of you, you can just go to prosperityGroup.com/VIP, and you actually have this offer, which is right here. Total investment will be well over $5,000. Here's what it's going to be. For the first 17 people to sign up right now, and I do mean 17, so I'm about to give an actually extra bonus for those first 17 to go do it right now. First thing is we're going to reduce it down to $777. It's less than $1,000 for literally tens of thousands of dollars of value. I know that for a fact. Second thing is we're going to help you with this. So say you want to get a 2-payment plan, and I don't care if you pay the second payment by the time the event comes or not. That's not what this is about. This is about you getting to the event, getting trained up, because when we show you how to make money with real estate investing, this is going to be easy to come pay later on. We're here looking for partners, and there's a small, tiny investment here, which basically pays the light bills, pays for our staff, maybe makes us a tiny profit in the middle, which I hardly even doubt actually at these prices, and actually gets you trained up so that it hopes you actually bring us real estate deals, because that's where the money is, folks, in the real estate, not in selling you books and tapes and seminars for $400 or $500. It just isn't there. But for those that want to pay in full, I'm going to give you an extra bonus, and that is this. If you go and pay in full right now at prosperityGroup.com/VIP, you're going to see where you can not only have to pay 2 pays of $390, but if you pay 1 payment right now, it's only $497 total. That's 2 people. That's $250 a piece. The payment for that hourly for three full days of massively powerful real estate training is ridiculous. It's people at McDonald's get paid more per hour than what you'd be paying. And here's why. We're looking for people to partner with. So go to Prosperity Group right now. Go to prosperityGroup.com/VIP. Go sign up, be one of the first 17, and here's the extra bonus I'm going to do. I told you I get $5,000 an hour for my consultation. The first 17 people that go sign up will get a one-on-one consultation with me. No matter what it is, whether it's personal development, real estate investing, whether it's relationships, whether it's money, whether it's losing weight, it's irrelevant. You'll get a $5,000 bonus just for being the first one of 17 people to go sign up right now. Now, I see some of you already signing up, and that is awesome, and I want to acknowledge all of you that have done it so far. The call is not over. We're going to actually take some questions here in just a moment. Maybe they're clarifying questions on, well, what if you cannot get to that date? Well, let me just answer that. If you can't get to the May 16th date, that's fine. Come to the next one. If you could go and your partner can't go, let them go to the next one with you or without you. It's irrelevant. People ask me, well, how did I get successful? Here's why. I'm telling you, folks, I went to a seminar just like the one I'm asking you to do and invest in, except the difference is I paid $7,500 for my first 2 seminars, and it has come back to me handsomely. This is a simple $497 investment that will come back to you so fast it's not even funny, as long as you do what we ask you to do, and that is just go out and take some actions on what we already know are proven marketing techniques. Bring us the lead that you found, and we'll show you how to structure it, and it will give you back your entire investment back on the very first deal, proven. We're not here to sell you books and tapes and seminars, but we're actually here to help train you to the degree of you actually going out and building massive wealth in real estate, hopefully alongside us with partnering. The phone number to go on call is, if you need to call in, is 713-410-7643. I actually see a couple of you actually have called. I'm getting text on it. Good for you. I want to acknowledge you for going to do that. I think about half of the 17 are already taken, and that is very smart. I want to acknowledge all of you that actually signed up, because really it's a no-brainer. For $497, I wish I got this education that cheap. It just wasn't available back then. It is for you now, and it's never been easier to do real estate investing. You'll easily do a flip and make your entire investment back on one measly assignment deal that's not even a good deal. A half of 1% assignment deal is worth this. So go right now to prosperityGroup.com/VIP or call in and say, I'm a yes, I just got to figure out the payment or whatever your issue is there. That's totally fine. Now I want to acknowledge those people that actually stretch, because the people that actually got to go figure this out and go, you know what, I'm going to this thing, I just got to figure it out. Those are the people who are usually most successful because they actually stretched a little bit. The number to call is 713-410-7643. That's the last time I'm going to tell you that until I take some questions. Or go to prosperityGroup.com/VIP. And I want to acknowledge all of you that are on the call and on the webinar still. The big majority of you are. That's awesome. I want to acknowledge you and literally give you a round of applause and say this is what it takes. It takes something for people to go out and actually change their lives. So I want to acknowledge you. In order for things to change, you must change. What's the highest and best use of your time? I want you to start acting as if you're already a multimillionaire, just like Donald Trump, just like Tiger Woods being a champion. I want you to, right in this moment, commit to, yes, I'm going to be wealthy in the next 12 to 24 months. And if it's $1 million you want to make, not only is it attainable, we have students that are doing it. So it's entirely up to you whether you're willing to do it or not. I tell you right now, we got the goods, we have the education. You just need to simply take the action. Go figure out where to get $497 investment, which for most of you is right there under your nose anyways. Commit to investing it and get to the very next seminar. I can tell you right now, going forward, these are going to go up in price. They're not going to always have this price. The first 17 get extra bonuses, and they're almost gone, so I'd go sign up. In the future, when these prices go up, if you come up to me or Tim or the staff and say, well, I heard it was $497 on a webinar, I'm going to say, yeah, you should have bought it then. Because I don't reward people for taking later on and trying to get back later what they should have done. People are rewarded by taking advantage of an opportunity and a great opportunity in the moment. People say, oh, I was lucky. No, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. We need to prepare you for the future opportunity of great real estate deals to come your way. And the only way to do that is the same exact way that I did it, and Tim and everyone else that I know that's a good real estate investor, and that is they spent some money and went to a beginning 3-day seminar to figure out how to do that. Now, I'll also tell you, we don't have drones of other outside speakers coming in to sell you more books and tapes and seminars. It just doesn't happen. We're going to give you real content. We're going to call leads. We're going to train you up, and you got a 100% money-back guarantee. If you don't think it was worth it, you get your entire $497 back. So at this point, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you haven't signed up yet, I don't know why. That's entirely up to you to figure out. But it's an absolute silly thing not to do at this point if you've been on this call this long. So I acknowledge all of you for being on here, and I encourage all of you to go sign up because we're going to have an amazing group May 16th, 17th, and 18th. Heck, if you did nothing except sign up for the networking opportunity for $500, it'd be well worth that investment alone. So with that, Tim, I think you said we were going to be able to take some calls at the end of this. Is that correct? We can do that now?
Yeah, we definitely can take some questions here. So if you have questions, go ahead and submit it to the questions box there, and we'll answer that. So yeah, so definitely, thank you and congratulations for those of you that have already signed up. We're just so excited. I'm speaking for the entire team here, but yeah, super excited to be working with you and doing deals with you. I mean, I love getting checks coming in. I can tell you that. And so it's a win-win for all of us, right? You get, for me to get checks, that means that you got paid as well. So, cool. So if you have questions, go ahead and type it in. Let me see here. Okay, Randy, let's go.
Oh, we got to have some questions, I'm sure.
Yeah, Randy said, hey, do you have my $2,000 in your pocket? Yeah, I have a check for $2,000. Did it came from you? Yeah, that was on my desk.
Randy's the guy that heard me in the seminar speak live, and I told him how I carry $2,000 cash around in my pocket at all the time. There's a constant reminder of who I used to be, and he asked me to show it to him, and I did. So thanks for being on the call, Randy, and go get signed up. And yes, I have my $2,000 in my pocket, and I want to help you get your $2,000 in your pocket because this is not your $2,000.
Daryl asked, if we partner with Prosperity, what is the split? Is it 50-50? And the answer is yes, it is a 50-50 split. Okay.
But the very first deal is not 50-50 because they get their first $500 back, and then it's 50-50.
Correct. That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So it actually, the first one's to their favor. And yes, it is a 50-50 after that, because the reality of it is we're going to teach and train you how to do it. We want more lead generations coming in, and it's just a fair deal to do all the way around. We know that if we keep it like that, you're going to keep bringing us deals for a while. It just happens. That's why we do this. So great question, and thank you for asking that question. And I don't know if that person signed up or not, but they're asking the right questions. That's what millionaires and billionaires do. They say, okay, let's get clear on this, and I'm moving forward. I'm a yes, so let's go. So I acknowledge you for signing up as well. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Okay, let me see here. All right. We got a lot of questions here. So can I sign up before midnight for the same deal?
That's entirely up to you, Tim. Well, here's what I would do. Well, one thing for me, I'd be wondering, why is it going to be midnight? Well, what's the hold up? Is the credit card going to come in at midnight? I'm not really sure. This offer, the link is going to be up until whenever it's up. If you missed the link, you missed the link. If you're a yes and you want to get it, and you cannot get the link for some reason, I suggest giving a call and saying you're a yes and committing to paying for it and just figuring out how to get it paid for. I don't know other reason why you'd have to wait till midnight. I mean, I don't think it's going to be up this long at all. I think it's going to be up for maybe the next 30 minutes or so, or an hour maybe. That's pretty much going to be it. Other than that, I mean, there's no reason to keep the link up. And as I said earlier, I'm going to be talking to Tim about this. This price is going to go up. It is, period. It should. $500? You kidding me? That's a joke. I paid $7,500 for this type of stuff. So that's my answer. You tell them your answer.
Space is limited, and so when we're sold out, we will take the link down. What you can do, Safan, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If you can't order online right now, you can also call my assistant Yuvia, and she'll be able to get you signed up over the phone as well. So to call her, it's 713-410-7643, 713-410-7643, and just make sure you let her know that that I said you can have the special that we have going on right now. So you can give her a call. Okay, let me see. Try what happened to all my questions. Okay, yeah, so now let me see here. All right. Bill said he enrolled a couple of weeks ago. And we still have your paperwork, so you're good to go, Bill. Okay, let me see here. I'm
going to let them know, too, that they can bring a guest for free, and that guest should be the person who's most influential in their life. I never finished that conversation. It should be the person who actually, they get feedback from in life very often, because I want those people to be your cheerleaders later on in life to actually move forward and to help support you. Because what happens for most people who do not become successful right out of the gate with this is they went back home and they kind of got beat up by their friends or family and got picked on and said it's going to be, it's not going to work and all this negative conversation. So that's why I really want that person to go. Whether they're interested in real estate or not, you must get that person. And I can tell you right now, if you get a hold of Tim and they get a hold of me, I will. Here's my commitment to you. You say you're going to sign up and they say they don't want to attend, you send us an email, and I will personally have a conversation with that person and work my best to enroll them to actually attend. Because I don't want to force anybody there. I will force somebody there. I'm fine with that, because once they get there and they get what they get, they're going to be glad they were there. It happens every time. But I'll actually go to bat for you to help that person get there and help support you. And I've had change around many relationships, both intimate and not, even partnership relationships, by having that happen. So I'm willing to do that as well.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me see here. We got more questions here. do you need to be located in Houston to partner up with Prosperity Group? Can you live out of state? Yeah, you can live out of state. And where are you doing deals? I mean, we do have investors all across the country. Oh, we have buyers. Yeah, I mean, everywhere. But,
I think I bring deals anywhere because I have students everywhere. You have students everywhere. We can get a deal done even if we just flip it, or at least show them what to do from afar, because I've done that as well. So absolutely, it doesn't matter what state you're in. Absolutely, you can do deals from wherever state you are, because real estate's real estate. Simple. So yeah, definitely you can.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let me see here. New York, Connecticut, New Jersey. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Let me see here. Paul, do you have questions you want to ask? Let me see here. How will we know if we got the consultation with Will?
You'll get an email. We'll tell them.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll email you if you're one of the 17. We'll email you and let you know.
Yeah, we'll send you an email that says, hey, you were one of the first 17, and it'll probably be a link to my email so that we can coordinate the best time to do that, because it'll obviously be on a call.
Yeah, and Rhonda,
for signing up. Welcome.
Yeah, and Rhonda, just so you know, like I see the order came in, so yeah, you are one of the first one. So congratulations. So, yeah, so you will, for sure you'll get the consultation with Will.
Good job.
How many? Yeah, they'll ask how many people are projected to be at the 3-day seminar.
Are you asking me?
No, that's a question from Dale.
Oh, okay. It's like you're handling that. You tell me how many registered.
Yeah. So at this point, we're capping it off at 100 people. Okay. So I mean that's we're doing it here at our office here, and that's that's all the space that we can, and so we have a lot of people interested, and so that's we're just gonna cap it off at 100 people. So it'll be a really nice. What I love about it's small enough where it's not too small where the energy is not there, right? And it's not too big where we don't have the intimacy with you. And so we found, like, we've done a lot of different seminars, some small ones to big ones, and right at about 100, 50 to 100 people is where it's a very good, strong energy in the crowd. And one of the sessions that we do where we have you guys call on our seller leads, it's just like, yeah, I mean, because there's a good amount of you calling, there's a lot of deals that's going to be happening in the room, and so yeah, so we like to cap off at 100. So that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and definitely bring your deals, guys. So you people that are signing up, seriously, go. I don't care if you just go on forsalebyowner.com. I don't care if you just drive neighborhoods and write down somebody has a house for sale. Even if you find a house for rent, go collect your deals before the event. Even if you're too scared to call the seller because you don't know what to do, fine, that's fine. If you can get past that fear and call a couple of them to kind of get your feet wet, so to speak, with that, call them and ask them, what they're asking, how much it's worth, what's their bottom dollar price, kind of ask them some of those questions. Bring all those leads because we can follow up with those leads at the event. And my intention at the event is like no joke. I want to make the students as much money as we possibly can right there in the event. I want to close deals right there. As we close deals right there, we have sellers saying, yes, we're moving to the next step. We're literally getting a purchase and sales agreement, and we're going to sign these things up right there in the 3-day event. So this is live, on the job, learn while you earn training. So definitely bring your leads. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let me see here.
We just have to take a couple more, and we got to get going here. It's actually got to get on another call to get moving. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I think let me see here. Yeah, we pretty much got everybody's answer. So a couple questions surrounding the gift certificate that you had when you were at our event last time. that gift certificate was only valid for that day that you were at the event. You know, however, what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to make an exception for those of you who have that gift certificate. Just make sure you can't enter that in online. So just contact Yuvia at 713-410-7643, 713-410-7643, and let her know that that I said that I made an exception for you to be able to use that. Okay. So,
yeah, made a mess. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you
so much on the call, so obviously you're getting some value. I hope I really helped touch some people's hearts here and really motivate and stir something within all of you to let you really know, like, authentically, seriously, we love you, we care about you, we want you to succeed. We have the goods. We know we're going to take care of it. We know we're going to show you how to make this work for yourself and for your family, so you can become financially free, no matter what your level is. Whether you're brand new, whether you're uncertain, whether you're scared, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Go figure out how to go get this $497 or now. Sign up, get to the event, and let us do what we do, and that is train you up and show you how to do this. We have plenty of staff that's going to be there for whatever volume people show, whether we have 50 people, 100 people, it doesn't matter. We have plenty of people there to help support you, and I promise and guarantee you we will bring you to the next level, and we'll have you profitable very, very soon. Simply just go do what we ask you to do, because it's a repeatable process. It's not difficult. It's just different. You just got to learn a new language of real estate. So with that, I'm going to sign off and say thank all of you so very, very much. Tim, thanks for having me on the call. I acknowledge you. You're an amazing person, and I love what you're doing with the Prosperity Group. It's why I said yes to becoming a part of this. And I really look forward to helping and learning and seeing and watching all of you grow and inspired and become millionaires, because no kidding, it's very, very attainable to become a millionaire in the next 12 to 24 months if you choose to do that. And it's not even hard. It's part-time. Real estate investing is not full-time. I don't work hard, and I don't want you working hard either. I want you working smart, doing a couple of things, key things, and then making money with it. That's how you do real estate investing. Anything you'd like to say, Tim? Sign off?
Well, just thank you, Will, for your generosity and for being on this call to share with everybody your success story, your rags to riches story, and inspire everybody. And yeah, thank you for your partnership to work with me to make a difference for everyone on the call tonight. And so. And everybody, thank you so much for being on. You did an amazing thing to be on here. I totally get your commitment for yourself, your family, your commitment to your financial freedom, your commitment to be able to provide an amazing life for you and your family. And so, really, thank you and congratulations. And I look forward to, and I want to thank all of you that sign up tonight. I look forward to working with you. Look forward to partnering with you, and we make a lot of money together. So. Thank you so much.
Yeah, don't hesitate. If you're thinking about it, go sign up and figure it out later. Just go do it. It's a no-brainer. You can call up to me at the seminar. I'm going to be there. You're going to be glad you came there. I promise you. I promise you, you'll get 500 hours worth of value in the first couple of hours of me getting on stage and speaking. I've been doing this too long. So just go do it. Go to prosperitygroup.com/VIP, and I'll see you guys at the event. Thanks a lot, Tim, and I'll catch you later on. And thank you for those kind words. And you're a great person. That's why I said yes to this. So we're going to help make a lot of people rich, and which will just in turn make us more money as well. So it's a win-win-win all the way around.
All right, sounds good. Everybody, good night. One last time, prosperitygroup.com/VIP. prosperitygroup.com/VIP. All right, good night. See ya.
Good night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.